All right, nerds. You know how we start this whole thing. Roll call.
Ryan.
Kyle.
Mikey.
And Steven! Welcome back, everybody. Oh, no. That's right. Let's pop this out of here. Need you to be gone. There we go. Okie dokie. Welcome back, everybody, to episode, I believe this is 18 of our Misty Fortune Absent Hearts campaign as we head to the end of our module, The Ghost. When we last left our hometown heroes from Toril, the Forgotten Realms, displaced in the lands of Barovia. Downtime days, vignettes, a gathering of Vistani, as the characters succeeded in tracking down both Layla, the vampire spawn, and fighting a whole group of Ettercaps, reuniting with their longtime ally, Aya Glenmere, who is currently residing with the elves of Greenhall as she recovers from the poisoning and venom of the Ettercaps. Our party returns back to the Vistani tribes, the Bogorovs and the Moslaveriks, joining their two families together for 5 days of singing, dancing, trading, crafting, and to some, romance. During these 5 days the party spends with the Vistani, they learn some of their techniques, how to pass through the mist undetected, to hide their tracks, to read into the faces of their foes, and glean the smallest of details. Learning from the Vistani, we had small vignettes for each one of our adventurers. Jove, spending time hunting with the Vistani hunters, learning of the lands, following their footsteps, seeing how they dance through the mists, but also uncovering knowledge from the bestiary of Barovia. Learning that within 7 days' time, the full moon will rise, and when it does, Jove will be at the mercy of the beast within him. His lycanthropic curse will come into full power. And what Jove intends to do when this inevitable full moon change comes is yet to be seen. Virgil, trying not to ingrain himself into the Vistani too much, spent the days reading through the bestiary of Barovia, helping where need be, but staying aloof from the rest of the festivities. Upon reading the bestiary, Virgil finally found something relating to the changes in his body recently, seeing that he is what is called the spawn in Barovia, a partial undead. While he has gained many a great powers, strength and speed, an inability to suffer from the cold, regenerative powers, and a new ability to bite. Unfortunately, there are drawbacks, as Virgil now must contend with a sanguine hunger. Should he not feed for a number of days, the exhaustion will set in, and his ability to gain control of himself will slowly diminish. Upon 4 days having not fed this hunger, Virgil snuck into the night, fed upon a number of predators out in the woods, and was able to sneak back into camp with a knowing look between Jove and Virgil, as they both deal with the curses this land have placed upon their bodies. Strength, to be sure, but tragedy always in the wings. Lastly, we return to Alder, who had unsuccessfully, or successfully depending on how you want to look at it, had spent an evening with the Vistani woman Annika. Choosing not to spend the entirety of the nights, Alder painstakingly watched as many a different Vistani men tried to seduce and court Annika, one successfully spending the nights, much to Alder's chagrin. However, Alder is a cunning and persistent man, and with a good showing during the Prastinata, was given a second chance to spend the evening with Annika, this time choosing fully to spend the night with her. Having spent a number of nights in receiving a sky blue scarf pinned by Annika herself to his very neck. Alder had to say his goodbyes to his Vistani romance. Both of them promising that, should their love be true, they would find each other in the mists once more, as the Vistani packed up to leave and rejoin their nomadic styles, traveling back out into the mists. 1 second a camp full of life and light, dancing and singing, now left back to the cold gloom of the Barovian woods. However, the party chose not to follow the Vistani. Instead, their gaze and goals were directed back into the woods. Jove, after having a startling encounter with the ghost of Talaric Doran, had continued to see a green light traveling from the camp into the woods. Every night, the ghost of Talaric would ride through the woods at an insane, reckless pace. And in its wake, Jove couldn't help but to see the ghostly visage trail further and further. While his companions were unable to see this same light, Jove was insistent, and having few options on how to escape the mists of Barovia, the party decided that it was time to take the advice of their ally Aya and find Jenny Greenteeth, a powerful Seelie hag who claims dominion over the Quivering Forest. Jenny Greenteeth, a ally of Flan, having long made a pact with the Lord Protector of Flan to protect it from the Netherese and other unseemly attacks on the city. However, in an earlier adventure, Alder and the proto-Lost and Found members of the time had come into contact with Jenny Greenteeth, a foolish woodsman from Cabal's Ruin, a small hamlet outside of Flan, had entered into the forest deep to hunt, and in doing so, had broken the pact between Jenny and Flan. Through deals, a removal of someone's entire skin and name, and hard-fought travel, Alder's previous group had succeeded in repairing the pact with Jenny and Flan. However, Jenny was nowhere to be seen when Flan fell to Vorgan Shorax, and was last seen holding the Gur-woman Sybil Rasia captive. However, in her previous conversation, she confessed that she was not holding her captive, but protecting her from something that was seeking her. And when our party last left Jenny, they were in the midst of making a deal, seeing what she wanted with the young Gur-woman, before large leathery creatures abscond with mists had taken our hometown heroes over to Barovia. We returned back to our party, having successfully followed the trail of Talaric through the Svalich/Quivering Forest. Our party returned to a hauntingly familiar grove, one that Alder has now seen thrice, and our 2 remaining party members have seen twice. We'll pick back up with the same kind of way we left it. Green light flares from within this cottage. The cottage sitting central in this large glade. Neatly stacked logs, a tidily arranged roof of shingles, grown over to one side with moss, and a large cooking pit in the center that wafts out warm, delicious-smelling food to all who smell. As the light flares from the cottage, the door is violently thrown open. The ghostly image of Talaric flies from within the small hut across the glade and disappearing into the forest. Weapons drawn, pain and anger written across his face. Following him out is an old woman wearing a pretty floral dress, her gray hair pulled back into a neat, tight bun and held in place with a long, slender hairpin made of what looks like pale wood and metal twisted together. She brandishes a short broom like a club as the ghost retreats. Her face is twisted into a rictus of absolute rage. As her eyes fall upon you, it grows soft and warm. "My goodness," the old woman chuckles. You all gave me quite a start. Please, please, welcome back. Come in from the chill and warm those bones with some tea and bread. Dusting off the front of her dress, she hobbles back into the hut, and you can hear the clatter of wooden bowls fill the air. As you have now all returned to the glade of Jenny Greenteeth, the hag of the Quivering Forest, a new resident of the Svalish Woods. It is quiet and calm. The cold no longer bites at your exposed skin and appendages. It's pleasant, welcoming. And this all leaves a heavy sense of dread, especially for you, Alder. It sits deep in the pit of your stomach. The worst kind of nostalgia. Like a scar that refuses to heal completely. You feel the wounds of your past dalliances with Jenny Greenteeth. You think of the 5 years lost wandering through those woods. Of how your whole life changed the last time you came into contact with Jenny Greenteeth fully.
Yeah.
The moment is yours.
Entering with that in mind, too, Alder definitely tries to hide that uneasiness with very much a glare at Jenny this entire time.
Go ahead and, this one's not perception. Give me a performance check.
For performance, that is an 8.
An 8. Heard. As you put on that mask, not to hide your intentions, but to show the turmoil boiling within inside of you. Burning, almost. But you're here for business. Not revenge, at least for the time being. You all have the moments as Jenny is preparing tea and bread for you all to converse amongst yourselves. Or the door is left open and inviting.
Well, like you were saying before, Alder, that we best be careful not to strike any deals that we ain't ready to follow through. So, Alder, I know you have the most experience with this hag, so I'm perfectly fine with you taking the wheel here. And you can see him kind of like shuffle a little bit. He seems really kind of uncomfortable here, and you can see kind of a little twinge of concern kind of across his face.
Alder takes a bit of a deep breath through the nose and says, "All right, let's do this thing." As he will step inside.
You step inside Alder, and you see a very familiar setting. It is warm and homely in this uncanny way. There's plenty of plants and cages filled with herbs and odd baubles, like every old grandmother from the 90s. It's all that like wooden antique furniture. All of it seems slightly overgrown. It's all warm and inviting, but there's always something off about all the baubles here. In a cage, you see what appears to be a fresh, fully fleshed hand. No blood, no cuts, perfectly placed, one on top of the other, resting inside of the cage. You see plants twisting and growing within this hovel, but instead of bright, beautiful flowers, they appear almost to have faces, like newborns through an ultrasound, pressing through. When you look back again, they seem to almost fade back, like they're breathing through the very plants. The wood here, as you step on it, every part squeaks and moves, but it almost sounds like it lets out a breath of air, as if you're stepping on someone's guts and they're expunging what air remains inside their bodies. To those not paying attention, it would almost seem welcoming, but you can't help but notice the very many mundane but sinister instruments that cling and hang into the air. Hatchets and spades sharpened to a deadly point. Everything here seems crafted in an organic, awful way. But the table is set. You see bowls poured with red-hot soup, tea warm and inviting, fresh smell of herbs waft through the air, and a hot, soft, fresh bread is placed onto the table. It's incredibly inviting, and while the Vistani put on some fantastic food, it's all very spicy. They're not much ones for making lots of bread. It's a lot of stews, a lot of camping meals, especially for you, Joe. The Vistani eat like you would eat, albeit with far more spices than most are used to. Here, this is fully baked, warm, homemade. Jove, you get that. And I'd say Jove and Virgil. It brings you back to softer, kinder days. Jove, you back in the Dalelands. It reminds you of that first meal back home with Gaffer, with Grent and Welby, and the rest of the village all lining up to come see you and Aquila and your stories. Virgil, it reminds you of spending time with your old ladies back in Waterdeep. The pleasant dinners you spent together, the old stories they used to tell, the breadth of life and experience that they are more than willing to share with you. All of it is painfully duplicitous. And as you all take a seat at the table and are served, Jenny takes her spots at the head of the table, gets a little bit of bread, some soup, and some tea. Well, don't let me stop you all. Dig in. Not since the last time you all arrived have I had so many guests.
Yeah, I can't say that this was the circumstance that we'd meet a third time on this day. Do you agree?
Oh, for you to have found me in Toril, the Fey Realms, and now all the way here in Barovia. Starting to get the impression that you just can't stay away, young man. But fear not, I'm far too mature for you, my dear. And she smiles at you, this big, wide grin that stretches ever slightly, too far, almost ear to ear, and you see her signature green teeth. Each one, think very much like Attack on Titan style. They're perfect and straight, a bright green to match the sickly plants that match her surroundings, but there's far too many of them. You count at least 20 on each top and bottom, and she's not even showing the molars.
It's funny. If I didn't know better, I'd say you're the one that has an eye on us. Last time that we saw you, we were back in Flan. And if I didn't know any better, being at your place is what sent us here. And now we're back here again. New place, but we keep running into each other. So, do you have an eye on us? Or is this all the craziest circumstance I've ever seen?
She chuckles heartily at that. Oh, my dear, all who enter my realm have my eye on them. So don't be surprised. Simply a formality. I mean nothing malevolent, at least for the time being. She smiles, that grin growing even wider. But no, I was not the ones who sent you here. Although it appears that you're not aware of why you're here either. For it was not simply circumstance, nor you finding my abode once more. If anything, I am the one that was unlucky enough to have you darken my door. But I can't say I don't enjoy my new scenery. And as she does, her hand reaches out, and you can see a bit of mist pool through the roof of her abode. It twists around and lays like a bracelet on her wrist before she kisses the wrist with the mist on it, and it exits back out, displaying a uncanny control of the mist, one that dwarfs even the Vistanis dancing through it. It seems to call to her a respect between the two. Not that she is creating it, simply that she is allowed to suggest to the mist. And Alder, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check as she does this.
Okay.
Hi, Ev.
That is a 16.
A 16. Seeing this, you grasp a better understanding of the nature between the hag and the mists of Barovia. It reminds you very much of you and your own patron once upon a time. There is a certain empowerment between the two. She is not the leader of the mist, but it is choosing to employ its gifts upon her. There is a symbiosis here. And already you can tell that this place has empowered the hag more than what you remember the last 2 times you've seen her. This small display might seem harmless to a commoner, but to you, a spellcaster, you see what she's really doing here.
Makes sense. I figure you fancy a place like this. A place steeped in atmosphere, as you might call it, mystery, maybe some special magical means that, well, would escape the common eye. But that said, I'm curious. If you were not the cause of all this, but you have such a good handle on this place, what do you think it is that did send us, or call to us?
Her smile widens even more. Ah, now that is the question, isn't it? I'm sure you've been wondering, why you? If not by my power, why are 3 adventurers from Toro thrust into this? Why is it that you can't seem to get away from whatever happens in this place? And I'm sure between the words of a small girl and those of the sights, as she cackles, keep alluding to something greater in the darkness. I'm sure you'd like to know what that is. Wouldn't you, wizard? I'm sure the lack of knowledge here is annoying, to say the best. And as she focuses on you, Alder, Jove, Virgil, you can see the lights in here are beginning to dim, but the light behind Alder is starting to grow as her focus physically changes the room.
Alder takes kind of a short breath to himself, closes his eyes, and then takes a look at her, and in his mind, he's almost thinking of his time with Chab, and kind of wondering how he'd approach it. as he gives her another look and says, "All right, you're talking business now. So, let's talk business. What is it that you're looking for right now? Because it sounds like answers ain't coming cheap."
Always the perceptive one, my young wizard. I can see your mentor has taught you well. And as she says that, there's that, like a string plucked in your mind, Alder. She always just seems to know a little too much. Yes, there is something that is troubling me. I'm sure you saw my unwanted visitor leaving before you all arrived. That arrogant richling from Flan. I would have thought that I'd taught him a most painful lesson in humility long, long ago. But he's becoming bold. He wasn't satisfied simply running through the woods that he thought were his. No, now he darkens my doorstep once more. 'Twas not enough that I had to take his mortal life. Now he wishes to suffer in his undeath. And whilst I could leave my domain and put him to rest, I think it'd be only fitting that a man of Flan such as yourself do away with him. Rid me of Talric, and I will share to you the knowledge that you lack. Do so in a timely manner, and I will offer my spellcasting services to you. I bet it's been quite painful out here, young wizard. No temples to ask gods that will not listen. No inks or parchments. And look at that poor thing on your hip. The Mists do not treat wizards very well, do they? And I'm sure it's not the only one. But do this for me, and I can supply you with what you lack. Help you fight back against the Mists. For while I do enjoy my time here, the denizens of my domain do not. As she looks out past you all, the light returning. While I quite enjoy the gifts the dark powers give, my proselytes will not. And so this is like a small vacation. So, I know you're worried of a deal. So perhaps just an agreement. You rid me of that arrogance, Richling of Flan, and I will be your ally. Should you get hurt, I will mend the break. Should you fall, I can bring you back. For trust me, you would much rather it be me. And should you want to peer deeper into the mists, my help would be invaluable. So, wizard, for this ask, do you agree?
Your deal sounds logical enough. You're one of the strongest, if not the strongest spellcaster here right now.
And she
Certainly ha-
immediately blushes and giggles in this awful mockery of an old woman. Oh, you flatter me.
And you certainly know far more than you want to share with anything, as it tends to be. My
Knowledge
only
is a currency.
You and I both agree on that. My only concern, Miss Jenny, is the same concern that you likely have for yourself, someone of your status, is not to waste anybody's valuable time. I'll look into this. I want to know what's going on with this ghost myself. But I need to know that you have the means to actually get us out of here, to even get yourself out of here. If I'm going off of pure word, well, then I'm just an errand boy.
She looks at you as her head cocks to the side. You are an errand boy. Regardless of what powers you packed yourself to, I know who you are, Alder Chiskin. I see the poor boy on the streets of Flan. I see you in the shadow of your mentor. So yes, never forget what you are, for I will not. And so you ask me, do I have the power to send you all back through the mists? Well, I know the path. Can I wave my hands and put you all back? No, my dear. It's not so simple out here in Barovia. But I can promise that I can put you on your path. And if you are strong enough, brave enough, and powerful enough, you may be able to leave Barovia. You may be able to escape the mists and not end up like these shells. I'm sure you've noticed it. 1 out of every 10 people you meet in Barovia has a soul. The rest are husks. And so you must ask yourself, do you want to try to figure your way out of here without my help? With the very real circumstance and climax being that you will be stuck in a never-ending cycle of death and rebirth till your soul is so hollow that I could fill an ocean in it. Or do you want to take the hand that is being offered to you? All of the winds, the rustling, the sounds of nature that are so absent in the Svalich woods, all quiets. Not a thing stirs in this moment, Alder. As she reaches out, her arm extending, growing, stretching impossibly so across, to hang in the air right in front of you in a gesture of a handshake.
Spirit exercised. That's all you're asking for with this one.
My words exactly. Exercise this spirit so that it may darken my door no longer. And you may consider Jenny Greenteeth an ally to you in Barovia.
All right. Here's the business. And he'll reach out his hand.
You shake with Jenny Greenteeth, and her hand feels as cold and clammy and muck-covered as sticking your hand straight into a swamp. Yet you see no clear liquid or mud attached to it. It sets your teeth on edge. Your skin breaks out into goose pimples across your whole body, to use an old-timey term. And with the shake of the hands, the sound returns, the light warms, the food smells ever so enticing, and a smile breaks out on Jenny's face as she pulls her hand back. She returns to her pleasant, grandmotherly form. And, well, I believe one of you, as she turns over to you, Jove, already knows where he's run off to. So please enjoy, stay for the time being, rest for a bit, gather your strength, and then do what is needed to be done. Oh, and if there's ever something more you all need, I am always here to make a deal. Where she smiles, she lifts her bowl of soup to her lips and takes a long drink, the red soup staining the front of her green teeth as she smiles back at you all.
Noted. I'll need a quick place to steady. If it's okay with you all, I need just a moment. Collect myself, then we can take off.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I think we're going to want to be at full strength.
And for game purposes, I would like to do a short rest, so I may use my ability to get back a spell slot, please.
Totally understood. Now is a perfect time for a short rest. I will ask. Actually, let me have Alder, as you kind of focus down and do your thing. Jove and Virgil, can I have you guys make me wisdom saving throws?
Oh, there it is. Net 20 for 20.
5.
Jove, you tear into this food immediately. It's hot, it's warm, and it's not till you get to the soup that there's an extra boldness to it, a heat and a hunger. Virgil, having listened to your companions, you are wary about dining in with a hag. And your nose picks up, and Jove, you realize it as you are squaffing it down, that the soup is a blood-based soup. A number of animals and who knows what else have been made into this. And Virgil, it is simply because you have just recently fed, but you notice that this food, at least the soup itself, has smell and flavor to it that regular food has been lacking. And as this realization dawns on you, as you both lock eyes on each other and then look over to Jenny, she just simply leans back and with a knowing smile nods to you and says, I'm sure you'll find all this food nourishing, especially to those of you with such an affliction. She leans back and smiles knowingly.
And I think Jove is going to continue to eat the soup. He feels a twinge of shame, but especially with such a low wisdom save, plus the approaching of the full moon, the satiation that he's getting off of this blood soup is just too good to pass up and think too hard about.
Jove, as you finish it, Jenny already has your refill set, and she seems elated that you're enjoying the soup so much. As much as she might be a powerful Seelie hag, she does enjoy her role very much. So she, as soon as you finish your soup, she reloads you, and Joe, this soup is phenomenal. It is there's you have two minds. There's that part of you that's shame and knowing that you're eating a hag soup, and probably a lot of suffering went into this. But at the other, but also, it's nourishing and fulfilling, and it's like all your favorite flavors all put into one, and you feel your gut really set in and satiate off of this, more so than just about anything but living flesh does. And you feel, well, you're gonna need a solid smoke after this one. You know, when you have a really good meal and you're like, boy, a smoke is deserving after this. This is one of those times.
And he will not deny himself.
And you see Jenny seems exceptionally pleased with herself as both a cook and a host as you mac on this soup, enjoy some of your smoke monsters. If anyone were to walk onto the scene unknowing, it looked like a quite fine little dinner party with a kind old lady and some interesting, rough-looking characters, but nonetheless pleasant. Older, what level of spell do you receive?
A
With
level 2.
Taking back to level 2, gotcha.
Yep.
Somebody's playing a playthrough with Gale this time. I'm like, I get this now.
Arcane recovery.
Very good. Virgil, with this realization of what the soup entails, and with your nat 20, the choice is yours. Do you eat the food, or do you kindly pass?
Yeah, Jenny, is there any chance that we could get some containers to take a meal like this on the go for doing this chore?
Of course! I can't remember the last time someone asked me for leftovers on the road. Yes, 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 of course. Anything for you all. And she seems... Virgil, you can't help but to think that even though she is a hag, she's also an old lady. And boy, if there's somebody who's good with the old ladies, it is Virgil van Dyke. And so she happily gets up and we'll say, go ahead and roll me a d6.
This is the time where I roll a 1. Nope, 4. I'll
Four?
take 4.
Indeed. She gets you 4 rations of, let's just call it blood soup.
I mean, that's ultimately all that it needs to be.
Right.
She gets you 4 kind of like wine skins filled up with it. Each one a full serving of blood soup, and go ahead and add that to yours. And
Yep. All right. There's my satiation for a minute.
smart, very smart. Now we're gonna take just a real quick, like 5-minute bio break as we enjoy this short rest, enjoy some hag blood soup, recover some of our spellcasting abilities, and I'd ask if anybody needs to roll hit dice, but I know for a fact you guys are all fresh to death, so
Yeah.
so I'm gonna leave all the audio and music playing, mostly because I really like this background music, and we will be right back, everybody. Also, Evelyn, I don't know if you heard me. Hello, thank you for being here. As always, your audience and participation is always appreciated. Eternitude.
I'm here.
Perfect.
Same.
Evelyn and audience, for everybody's personal knowledge, I love Jenny Greenteeth as a character. She is one of my favorite characters I've gotten to have in multiple campaigns. She's a huge driver of action for a lot of our early campaigns, for those of us who are here for the Flan campaign. And it's absolutely lovely to have her back in it. And she's near and dear to my heart, as much as one can say for a hag. Indeed. Yes, she is. I wonder.
Oops, realized I was muted. I was saying I'm a method actor when it comes to Jenny, and that internalize Alder, and I do not like her, trust her, ever. But she is a good character.
Yeah,
Never trust a hag.
And, like, why?
Right.
I saw her take take the skin and the race off of a person, you know, like in the OG campaign, you know. Alder ain't forgot. Alder don't trust this.
Yes, for those of
There's
you who... Go ahead.
there's something about Mikey that just loves hags and genies and things. Because one of Mikey's toxic traits is that I don't lie, but I tell specific truths.
I've played enough either Among Us or Werewolf or those types of deductive games to know that is an absolute fact. Mikey's going to tell me
Mikey
the
doesn't
truth
lie.
every time. No, I wasn't in electrical when that body was found. I'm telling you right now, I was not there when it was found. I'm like, you motherfucker. That is the truth. You weren't there when it wasn't found. You just vented over to comms.
Yeah. So I have a deep fondness for mythical beings that do the exact same shit.
Who tell you a very specific truth. Hags are cool, everybody. If you're a DM and you want and you're looking for a cool villain. Ev, I just got your meme. That was funny. What the fuck is this soup? Broccoli cheddar. That's fun. All right, we have all returned because everyone's talked. So we return back. All they're having received some of his arcane recovery. Jove and Virgil, well satiated on some blood soup with some leftovers for you for the road in the time being. How do you guys want to go track down Talaric?
Well, Jove still sees the vapor trails, right?
Yes, you do.
Well, I guess that would be step one. Would be to continue to follow those back out into the forest.
No survival needed on this since you're following the trail. Jove, you begin taking your party back out into the woods, away from Jenny's domain, heading deeper into the forest in a different direction than what you're typically used to. Let's switch this on over. Following the green light, you head deep into the forest, passing through trails, going around trees, as Talaric's ethereal form permits him to travel in straight lines to the forest. As you leave Jenny's domain, the snow and the wind return. Can I have everyone but Virgil go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw?
12.
9.
Alder, that's one fail. Take 1 level of exhaustion. As you head deeper and deeper into the forest, the snow begins to aggravate and impede. It's less Jove this time of finding the path through as you have done so many times. It's more of trying to avoid pitfalls, large snowbanks, like a skier who falls through into unknown crevices. You reach a point where it looks like the snow continues on, but you're able to catch Alder as he falls through a big patch. You can see that this crevice might be the better part of 20 or 30 feet deep. You're not sure because you can't see the bottom, but you're able to help him struggle out. And Alder, the exertion of almost falling into this, gives you that level of exhaustion. But you continue on further and further. Alder, your keen mind knows that you probably left around 10, found Jenny's domain around 1. You're thinking it's probably 3, getting closer to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The sky is beginning to darken once more. What bits of sky you can see through the overgrown, prickly trees that cause home here. But as the late afternoon rounds towards evening, you begin breaking through the trees. And you find yourself amidst pure carnage. Though this path widens a bit, it would be barely wide enough for a wagon to pass through, sans the Vistani. Well, at least without its paint being worse for wear. But that's not what makes this place exceptional. Dozens of mutilated bodies lay about the area. The air is almost black with clouds of buzzing flies. The ground has soaked through with blood and offal, creating a bloody muck that sucks and clings to your boots with each step. Most of the bodies are commoners in common clothing, but one stands in stark contrast to the rest of them. The body has been strung up high into a tree and appears to have been flayed and disemboweled. The only part of the body not subjected to this torment is the face. Handsome and almost regal. And you could see 2 nails of wood and iron pierced through the eyes, seemingly at the moment of death. And upon looking on the face, Alder, you know that to be Talaric Dalren, Lord Regent of Flan, father to Anavar Dalren, the late Lord Regent who had an untimely fall from grace from the top of Castle Vallejo, which then allowed the Lord Protector Ekdom Brahms, a member of the Black Fist, to become the leader of the city. And it is with that connection and partnership that the family, headed by Chab, was able to take such strong control of Flan. It is your own history made manifest. A ghost story and a history lesson all woven into one, playing out in front of your very eyes. And without warning, the flies disperse, and a heartbeat later, a horrible wail fills their absence. You can sense that Talaric is coming. Oh, there was something you wanted to say? Go for it.
Yeah, I also just wanted to check. You said that as it looks right now, it looks like he was freshly killed? That's the visage here? Or am I
Yes, everything looks fresh, like days old. And you know that Talaric made his ill-fated ride into the Quivering Forest back in the 1300s. That it has been nearly, I believe it's 1393 that Talaric takes a host into the Quivering Forest. And after the time skip of 5 years, our campaign began, I believe, in 1479. So these should all be bones. Long dead corpses, but they are fresh. As if you walked onto a battlefield days old, Alder.
This sure isn't right. You should be nearly dust at this point. My guess Talaric is nearby, and this might be another way of him communicating. I'd get ready, and be ready for any number of visions or tricks, y'all. Because this doesn't add up.
We know that we need to put him to rest. Perhaps that starts with trying to get him off of this perch. And can Jove, like, if there's multiple bodies, can he, like, take the back of his spear and just, like, poke it to see if this is an illusion or if it truly is, made manifest here?
Jove, you go over and you poke some of the commoners' bodies that lay in various states of massacre. And as you pull your spear back, it is ringed with blood. The body moves. In fact, Jove, the bodies are warm. As if freshly killed, and Jove and Virgil, you both consider the stroke of luck that you've just fed. The smell of blood is fresh and warm here. And Jove, when you pull your spear back, you can see a bit of blood beginning to leak out and pool around this body, as if it's still bleeding out. As if this moment of carnage has been preserved day after day, year after year. An unending scene of vengeance.
How is Talaric's body, like, being hung here on the tree? Is it like tied to it, basically? Or is he, like, hanging from, like, a noose kind of? Or, like, what? I didn't catch that.
He is, it looks like he was nailed into the tree first. And then using his flayed skin and organs was wrapped into it so that his organs was holding him to the tree. An exceptionally painful and macabre way to go out. So he is nailed to the tree, flayed and disemboweled, then rehung from the tree, left to suffer, and then appears that finally the nails were put through the eyes to end the suffering. A horrific way to go. It will take some climbing. He can be taken down, but some will need to climb up into the tree to do so.
I can try and climb if you want to take him down.
You go ahead and do that.
I'll use my climb speed.
Yeah. And Alder definitely wants to just, like, keep surveying everything around the area, just make sure no one's approaching.
Go ahead and let's have... No, you first.
Yeah, I'll bound up the tree a lot more nimbly than you would think that a minotaur would, looking almost like a giant monkey. Not an ape, because they don't climb as well as these monkeys do. But this monkey is climbing a tree, and he's a minotaur.
Like a chimpanzee, because they're really good at climbing trees.
Yeah, but big.
But big.
Yeah. And so I'll climb up to the body and start unpinning him.
Yeah, Virgil, between your climbing speed and your strength now, it could not be an easier feat for you. Really, the biggest problem is getting your big body the tops of the trees, but with your strong climbing speed, it's easy enough. And it's not long afterwards that there, with a thud, the body of Talaric is dropped from the tree. And as Alder and Jove, as you look out scanning, you see north of you, at the end of a path, a man draws into view. Ghostly and translucent, his once fine clothes trailing behind him in ribbons, and his entrails dragging silently on the forest floor beneath his feet. "Leave this place," the ghost of Talaric says. "The hag does not suffer trespass into her domain." And it's like, think of kind of like the ghosts in Return of the King, as if there's an ever-present breeze blowing, and his visage shifts from the flayed, tormented man to a beautiful, handsome noble. And with each step, the visage changes, moving, ethereal. He doesn't have any weapons drawn, but you can see his face is twisted in anger and agony, as if every single step has the full pain of his ghostly form still ravaging him. As you are now all presented with the ghost of Talaric Doran.
So do we just ask him to get lost?
Jove is gonna reach down and attempt to like pull out one of the nails that is in the body's eye.
It comes out easily enough, but there is no change in Talaric.
Is there anything special about the nail, or does it just look like a regular iron nail?
It looks like an iron nail that has been, as if a root has grown through the nail. It is equal parts organic and inorganic. And in fact, you see that it is almost exactly like the nails that Jenny uses to hold her hair in place. You have the sinking suspicion that these are her hairpins that she keeps on her. And that she made a second pair, likely after putting these into Talaric. "I said, the hag does not suffer trespass into her domain. What fools are you to desecrate such a place?" His heavy, thick Flan accent.
Well, Talric, we were just following you here. You're the one that brought us out here, don't you remember? And he is gonna pull the second hairpin out of the eye and kind of pocket both of them.
Yeah, you pocket both of them. There doesn't seem to be any change in Talaric as you remove the nails from his eyes, on his corpse's eyes, I should say. I remember riding through the woods. I remember being with my men. And then I remember Jenny. I remember how terrible she is. It makes me miss Flan. I miss my home, my son. and he looks off as if staring a million miles away. He seems
We all miss
lost in
home.
thought. Go ahead.
He was just gonna yell back, Talric, we all miss home. We all miss Flan. And that's why we're out here. It's time for you to be laid to rest. End your suffering. There's no need to be out here doing the will of the hag that did this to you. Poor body.
I'm dead. I died. I suffered, and then I died. So realization dawns on his face, this confusion in his afterlife. What became of Flan? What happened to my son? What became of my city?
Some time has passed since you were killed. And, Flan has grown, but today is in a poor position. Dragon has taken up residence. Well, that's why we're here. Part of why we're here, anyways. We were attempting to restore Flan to its greatness, and we got mixed up with that hag and deposited in this place. This place of sorrow. And I can't do anything about you being dead, Dalric, but as far as we know, the three of us aren't. And if you care about your city and you want to see good happen there, we can be part of the solution to restoring Flan to what it once was. We can only do that if we leave this place. Putting you to rest is just one part, getting us all back home.
You see his face grow despondent on hearing that Flan has fallen to a dragon. You'll see the pain on his face as he realizes that his absence meant that he was not there for the fall of Flan. That he left his son and his people on an ill-fated ride out into the quivering forest. He speaks. I shouldn't be here. I should have joined my Lord Bane in death, as all of my family members have. I wasn't given the rights. I was left to hang. He looks down at his own body and suffer. How long ago was the year 1393? Dale reckoning.
80, 85 years ago, something like that.
Oh, my son's an old man now. I didn't get to watch him grow up. Missed out on everything. And I'm just so tired. I want to rest. And as he talks about not being claimed by Lord Bane, like the rest of his family, can I have everybody roll me religion? Alder, as a native of Flan, roll with advantage.
That was religion, you said, right?
Religion indeed.
18.
I got a 4.
I got an 18.
Jove and Virgil, Or
Wouldn't
sorry, Alder
wouldn't
version.
Jove know about Bane from being with Freddy and Lapis?
Yeah, Mole Master, right?
Yes, you would be aware, but I would also say that Lapis and Freddy are not practitioners of Bane, and the
True.
only like real Bane stuff you dealt with was the consequences from the Church of Bane. But their funeral rites is what this role is in regards to.
Okay. I just want to make sure that that was on record.
Yes, indeed. Good ask. But for this one, if it's just like regular Bane worship, I probably would have given to you, but this is Bane funeral rites. But with an 18, I'll say Jove, when you think of Bane, it just leads you back to Ilva and Sebastian Stowe and the anger about how Mulemaster went down. Virgil, you've spent time in Waterdeep, which has a temple to every single known god in the Forgotten Realms. And Alder, you're a Flan native. Bane is the predominant religion of most people of Flan. So you both know that Baneites are cremated in death. That punishment is to be burned alive, one of the most painful things you can do to a creature. But in death, once someone is fully dead, they are burned in an offering to Bane. You both remember the words. They are spoken in a combination of common and Bane is lawful, and fiend. It is about a minute long process to go through the rites to burn the body and release them back to Bane's eternal servitude, as those who worship Bane seek out. And seeing Talric strung up and left to the elements in this timeless place is certainly not what a Baneite would want. So I will say that you both realize that his body needs to be burned, and the rites need to be spoken to send him off to Bane.
Jove, if you get him down from the tree.
Oh, he's down.
Oh, he's already down.
Yeah.
Yeah, Virgil got it.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, right. Virgil, thank you. All right, give me a little bit of space here, boys.
Wait, before we start the fire, do we know the rights? I don't want a burning body and then afterwards be fumbling around looking for what we know and what we don't know.
I know nothing about Bane.
I more or less know the rights, and he'll also cast comprehend languages so that he can more accurately speak fiend as
Nice.
well.
All right, well, if you feel confident in doing it, I'm not going to tell you to stop. And I'll take a step back.
Yeah.
Alder, give me some flavor. How do you perform this rite? That you need to burn this body and speak for a minute uninterrupted.
It's I imagine, like, especially with using comprehend languages here, like it's going into that full divination, almost like tapping into what people might call the sight, in that Alder, like, it's just everything goes blank except for the fire. All that is on his mind, all that he is focused on in that moment is just kind of that flame, that collection of energy and knowledge, essentially. And he goes almost into like a trance as he just kind of fixates on that feeling. And he kind of stands there, and like the flame, his flames from produce flame, like they almost kind of like move, almost like, I feel like almost like hoses kind of like coming out of his fingers. Like it's a much more controlled flow to it. It's not wild in a sense. It's very, it's like almost like a waterfall kind of feeling from it, right? It's just all of it like a knowledge kind of stemming from itself, and kind of focusing on that and consuming the body with that as well. basically to kind of do two things and spells at once. It's like the mind almost has to shut off and let that entire flame and like divine sense take over in him.
Alder, you begin letting your flames out. They begin to snake across Talric's body. His ghostly visage is pulled forward as he joins you in the words, repeating just a half second behind you. And as your mind focuses, you feel a strong hand on your shoulder. A weighty black hand. It squeezes, not in reassurance, but in command. You feel the words starting to slip out of your mouth, faster. Less you're doing, but almost as if you are a conduit. Channeling Bane to this moment, to return one of his most loyal servants. And as you focus in, your whole concentration subsumed onto this rite, there is a shuffling noise and the sound of booted feet moving in the muck. As Alder, your focus is entirely consumed on the rite. 4 dead woodsmen, eyes vacant and unblinking, their bodies bearing the evidence of unspeakable acts committed upon them in life, twisted and deformed, fresh, as if they still have blood beating within their hearts, begin to choke out of the woods and begin to descend upon you. This is going to be a unique sort of encounter. Alder, you need 10 rounds to finish the rites. Should you take any sort of damage, you will need to perform basically a concentration check. Should you fail, you'll need to restart the ritual once again. Your action will need to be to continue the ritual and maintain your flames. Should you be interrupted, like I said, you'll have to restart from the beginning. I need everybody to roll initiative. You may choose not to maintain the ritual and assist your allies, but you will have to start the ritual over once again.
Gotcha.
D.
So I have to use my action to do the ritual, correct?
Yes.
So am I allowed to use reactions and maintain the ritual or no?
As long as you use your action each turn, you may use reactions. But your action
And then
must be on this, or else the ritual will stop and you'll have to start over again.
okay. And do I have to be like in the presence of the body, I imagine? Like I still need to be near it?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Of course, of course. This one's a bit of a unique one. Let me switch over and get the initiative. 14, 12, and Alder, I need yours.
Oh, sorry. I did not post in the initiative.
17, right.
Of course, I roll high when I, am focused
Of
on
course,
this. That's how it goes.
So, let's switch over the music. So, to set the scene, you are in a large clearing, the better parts of 100 feet across in every direction. At the center of this clearing is Alder and the body and ghost of Talaric Duran. Next to Alder on both sides is Jove and Virgil. The undead woodsmen, these strange-looking zombies, even from the ones that you guys have all seen recently, are shulking out from the woods. At this point, they're probably about 50 feet away from both Jove and Virgil, and are beginning to shuffle their way towards you all. There's 4 forming this kind of half circle heading towards you. You could see 2 are closer to Jove, 2 are closer to Virgil, but all 4 of them are trained specifically on Alder. Their intent made clear as they all begin heading in a straight line to Alder. At the top of initiative, speaking of the man, is Alder.
I use my action to continue the ritual.
Fiendish words spill out from your mouth, intermixed with common, as Talaric and Alder continue to chant and speak the rites. You see the hands are untouched by the fire, Alder, as it snakes up the feet towards the legs onto the torso, almost creating this shroud where only, I believe it is the right hand of Bane, is left untouched. The body's hand turning to black as the rest of the body begins to charcoal and smoke from your flames. We then drop down to, because I assume you stay put and continue the ritual, to Jove.
Said they're max 50, right?
They are
Distance?
each 50 feet away from you.
Gotcha. Then he will do a long range javelin throw, so at disadvantage,
Go for
to
it.
try and plink one of them.
Yeah, we'll say they are at, if it was a clock, and you guys are in the very center of this clock. Not at like a number, but at the center. You have a zombie at 3, 5, 7, and 9, all heading in a straight line towards Alder.
Okay, he will throw at 9. At the
Gotcha.
zombie at the 9. We'll do so at disad. Ooh, yeah, that's probably not going to hit with a, what is that, a 9.
Well, they're just woodsmen without wearing armor, so that does indeed hit.
Oh, nice. Okay. So we are looking at... Okay, not bad. We're looking at 8 piercing.
8 piercing. Go ahead and roll me a d20, Jove.
Oh, man, 2.
2. You throw your javelin, and it pierces into the leg of this zombie at number 9, and it pierces right through, severing one of the legs. I'm going to need a second page for this. 3Z, Z, C, C, C. As you see go for it.
I was just going to say, as far as movement goes, he just wants to make sure he's, shoulder to shoulder with Virgil to kind of body block Alder here.
Gotcha. All right. Then from Jove is Virgil.
Virgil's gonna keep the idea of drawing them in close, and he's gonna do a crossbow shot.
Gotcha. Jove, actually, is the damage doing piercing with the javelin?
It is piercing.
Okay. That changes things. The leg does not become detached. But you do see your javelin sticking out straight from the top of the thigh. What would likely have cut the major arteries in a living creature now stands stiffly straight out from the zombie. Virgil, go ahead and make that crossbow attack.
18.
On which zombie?
We'll go for, I'll go for the one at 9 as well. I think
Okay.
less bodies to manage is going to be more of a boon to us than spreading out and divide and conquer. So
Go for it.
we'll go for that one. 18 to hit.
That hits for sure.
6 piercing.
6 piercing, you got it.
Make sure there's nothing I want to do with my bonus action. No. I'll just pass there.
Gotcha. Which then takes us to the zombies. They're out of range, so all 4 of them are going to use their action to dash as they move across. And since Jove and Virgil, you've put yourself in front of Alder, they can't quite reach him without walking into the fire, which they are trying to avoid. So, Jove, you've got 2 zombies on you. Virgil, you've got 2 zombies on you. I'll say, Mikey, because we're left side boys, you'll be on the left. Jove, you're on the right. So, Virgil, you've got zombies from 9 and 7 on you. And Jove, you've got zombies at 5 and 3 on you. So the most damaged one is on Virgil. Make sense?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, back to the top with Alder.
I will continue to remain and use my action on the right.
As you continue the ritual, Alder, your companions would notice that the mists around the outside of this clearing are beginning to draw in closer. They move 5 feet inwards. And as you continue to speak these words, you can see, like a tornado, the mists are swirling and beginning to encroach upon you. This first movement is 5 feet. All right. Then Jove, you got 2 zombies on you, fresh to death. Pun intended.
He is going to use bonus action to use one of his rages, so he still has 1 remaining for the day, to go into quarter wolf form. And then
Give me a little flavor.
Oh, absolutely.
Fully fed,
Yeah.
7 days from the next full moon. What does Jove look like going a quarter werewolf as your hunger has ever grown?
Yeah, I would say that, like, the more that Jove has been making this transition into wolf form, the more fluid it becomes. Not necessarily less painful for him, but he's just more used to it, and it's less, frightening for him. So as the nails pop off of his fingers and those dark claws take their place, as there is some shifting of his, musculoskeletal structure as he kind of gets that hunch, the hair growing even more so as he really begins to resemble kind of a short Wolverine, or just really how Wolverine is supposed
I was
And-
just about to say, literally, that's Wolverine.
just Wolverine.
It always hurts to pop the claws, but you're used to it.
It always does, and with the large eyebrows poking out as he he enters that like final stage of the transformation. He kind of looks up into the moonlight as somebody, if you going out on a nice day and soaking up the sun's rays, he does the same for the moonlight here. As he exhales, there's kind of steam that comes out of his nose, and he uses his action to rake his claws, we'll say against number 3.
Number 3, gotcha.
And I'll say, since he's feeling a little more controlled right now, he won't do this in a reckless manner. So this will just be a regular old slash, which is
Regular.
going to be different, which he hasn't really done before. So, and maybe Virgil, you'd be able to pick up on this with the increased perception from your shield that he looks a little more in control here, which is good for him. And there we go. That is going to be a 20, dirty 20.
20 will hit on number 3.
Number 3, and that is going to be for 11 slashing.
Go ahead and roll me a d20, Jove.
That is a 5.
A 5. You take off one of its legs.
And it also, from the slashing feat, just has 10 feet less movement anyways.
Heard.
So he'll go ahead and, looking down his quarry in front of him, he will relinquish his turn there.
And that drags us down to Virgil.
Alright. I'm gonna smack the one at 9. Yeah.
With what weapon?
It's a great question. Normally he would go with the silvered war pick, but do they look like skeletal? Like piercing might not be the best way to do it.
Let's use your tactful mind. Go ahead and roll me an insight.
Yeah. 5.
5. They don't look particularly skeletal. They almost bleed with the strikes. They seem much more fleshy than what you're used to.
Then yeah, we'll keep doing the silvered war pick then.
Gotcha.
I rerolled the attack because I had to do a check in between and I got the same roll. 18.
That'll hit.
And then I'm gonna do what I do with zombies and try a disarming attack. But literally.
All right. Let's see it.
Disarm.
He has to roll a strength save.
Oh, thank God. Does a 12 do?
Well, it does not do. So I'm
Gotcha.
gonna just swing it into his arm and just yank down and attempt to rip it off as I do 16 piercing, silver
16
piercing.
piercing. All right, I need to make a Constitution saving throw. It's a nat 20. All right. And that was on the 9 o'clock one, correct?
Yeah.
You rip the arm off of this zombie, pierce through, and it comes apart with a sickening, tearing noise as it hits the ground, Virgil. You see that the arm rises up like a snake and prepares for a strange sort of... It almost literally makes like a snake mouth with its fingers. The nails are jagged and elongated, and it looks prepared to strike.
Strike me?
Yes.
Okay. But he's still alive?
He is still on his feet. Alive isn't the right word, but you know what I'm
Conscious?
saying. Yes.
Okay.
Actively hostile.
Yes. Okay. Then I'll swing at him again with my extra attack.
Let's see it.
That's a 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that's 10 silver piercing.
10 silver piercings and Constitution saving throw. That's 14. Virgil, you are laying into this zombie and giving it wounds that any living thing would certainly perish from, but it simply pushes your war pick back out of its body, its lifeless undead eyes still fixated on trying to get to Older.
Alright. I will action surge.
Oh!
And go again. 17.
17 will hit.
7 silver piercing.
And that's a Constitution. Another deadly strike straight to the top of the head that you have killed so many creatures with. The old reliable move. And you dash the pickaxe straight through the top of the head so that you can see part of the pick pierce out to the mouth. And as you remove, its head drops for a moment before picking back up, and its lifeless eyes look at you once more.
I'm assuming still focused on Alder, though.
Indeed. Regardless of the damage that you keep doing to it, deadly damage to anything else, it is still wholly fixated, driven forward. And I'll say, Virgil, with your passive 14, correct?
Yeah.
You can see that each one of these zombies, instead of blood piercing through, mist begins to leave its body. It seems empowered by the mist, as if something is trying very hard to stop Alder. I'll say that's what you get with a 14 perception. But I believe
do
you
it
still have an
again.
action. All right, let's
Yeah.
see it.
14.
14 will hit.
Jesus. 4 silver piercing.
4 silver piercing. And that'll do. Another deadly strike. Another wave of mist pouring out of the body. But the zombie stays on its feet.
And that will... Oh, I'm gonna make it make another strength save for my hammering horns.
Oh! That's a crit fail.
He gets pushed 10 feet away.
Gotcha. And missing an arm.
He...
All right. We then go to the zombies' turn. We'll start with Jove with your 2 zombies. Whew. You are going to receive 6 attacks.
Oh, boy.
These are at Jove?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. And they're all regular because
All regular, because you didn't reckless, which when you said that, I was like, ooh, I know you don't know, but smart move. I had a lot of attacks on you. So, first zombie, we'll say the 3 o'clock zombie, the 3 strikes, 1 bite and 2 claws. All right, that is a 9, a 9, and a nat 20. So 2 misses and a success. We'll make that the bite. As the bite drives into you, Joe. You're raging, so this will be halved. So that's 4, 7, 8. You take 4 points of piercing damage as one of these zombies bites into with a broken mouth of charred teeth, jagged and irregular. The second zombie will make the same exact strikes against you, trying to eat their way through you to get to Alder. That is a... These get so low, but that's a 19, a 16, and a 19.
all 3 hit.
All 3 hits. So then, Jove, you take...
Wait, 16 hits you? I thought your AC was higher than that.
Once I gave up the shield, I went down to 16. Yeah.
So that's 10. And then that one's only the 4. You take... Don't hit very hard. So that is 10, 12... 8 points of bludgeoning and piercing damage.
Gotcha.
Then over to Virgil. The zombie at 7 o'clock makes 3 attacks on you. That's a 7, a 17, and a 19.
The 19 hits.
19 hits, gotcha. You take 6 points of slashing damage from a claw attack. Then the zombie you ripped an arm off will only make 2 attacks because it's missing an arm. That is a 7, a 7, and then the arm is going to make an attack. It only gets 1. And that's also a 7. So 7, 7, and 7. None of those hits.
Very lucky though.
Yeah, I mean, that's what won me all that money in Vegas, was hitting 7, 7, and 7 on blackjack, so I can't say that I dislike it. All right. That is all the zombies goes as they push against the wall of flesh that is Virgil and Jove, but are unsuccessful. We go back to the top of the altar. We are on round 2.
This is round
Shouldn't
3.
this be round 3?
Sorry,
This
you
would
are
be
so
round
right. Round 3, because they used that
Yes.
first one to move. My bad. I was counting attacks.
Very, very important for this encounter. Yes,
There we
Alder
go.
will continue to trust in his companions here, and will use his action to continue the ritual.
Alder, roll me an Arcana check as you continue the ritual.
Will do. That's an 18 for Arcana.
Alder, as you are chanting, as you are continuing the rites of Bane, as you feel that black hand on your shoulder get heavier and heavier, it's becoming painful, almost. But your eyes wander for a moment as you stare past Talaric, as your words are pulled from your body. You begin to see an amber light on the outsides of this clearing. A pinprick of amber starting to grow stronger. And at round number 3, we'll leave it at that.
Oh, shit. Alright, that's it for Alder.
Jove.
All right, he will continue to beat up on number 3. Ooh. That is going to be a 24 for the first one.
That'll hit. That's not what I was
Action.
expecting.
Oh, almost minimum, so that's only 8 slashing.
Meets beats.
No, that was I guess
Oh,
I rolled the
okay.
damage.
Roll the
so-
damage. 8. Gotcha.
So 8
roll me.
damage for the first hit.
Would
and
you
then
roll
I'm
me a
gonna use the
d20?
bonus action. Oh yes. So this is the d20 for the hit.
Yep,
Another
slash.
5.
Another 5. That is the other. That is the other leg. As you rip both legs out from this zombie, it hits the ground, a torso with 2 arms, in a almost hilarious Monty Python reference. But both legs just are detached from it. It has a movement speed of 0.
Wonderful. Well, that's good.
And is currently prone.
Then I guess he'll use the bonus action attack on number 5.
Gotcha.
That will hit for a 12.
12 hits.
And we are looking at. So that is 7 slashing on that.
D20, please.
With the d20. Okay, so I rolled a 1.
Reroll.
Okay. 9.
9. Gotcha. You sever one of the arms off of this zombie, which does the same thing of hitting the ground and becoming almost snake-like as it prepares to attack you. The limbs seem just as animated as the torso as they are removed.
Yeah, Jove is able to maintain in his mind that he's here to soak up attention, get it off of Alder, so he'll stay there, having the aggression from both of these zombos.
All right, then it is Virgil.
So after dealing several non-lethal blows, I'm gonna switch to the Warhammer and see if that has any success. As I swing at the disarmed one.
Indeed. Number 9.
Nat
Go for
20.
it. Ugh.
Let's go.
Do I need to roll damage?
How do you want to do this?
He like he kind of just drops the pick at his side and just takes out the hammer and just like raises it up and pictures it like a spider and squashes it.
And as you squash through the head and the torso, you turn the standing zombie into the most macabre accordion you've ever seen. And with the nat 20, it finally stops moving.
Then I'll turn to the other one and do the same.
Let's see it.
Well, luckily I have a +6, so that's 9.
9 will do.
7 bludgeoning.
7 bludgeoning. Can I add that d20?
14.
14 as one of the arms is severed. All right. Anything else from you all?
Nope.
Gotcha. It is now the zombie's turn. As we start with number 3, each one of the legs is going to use its action to help and give advantage on the 2 claw strikes for you, Jove. So these first 2 attacks are with advantage. The bite is not made with advantage.
Virgil, noticing that these zombies are attacking us to get to Alder and not trying to find a way around, I'm actually going to this turn use my reaction to protect Jove. So one of those advantages turn regular.
All right. I'll roll regular first. That is a 20.
Hits.
And then advantage with the second claw. That is only a 13. And then regular roll with the bite is a 6. So Jove, you take 3 points of slashing damage. That is reduced. And then the other zombie with all of its limbs is just going to make 3 regular attacks against you. Oh, wow, that's a 2, a 7, and a 4. None hit.
Bang boom.
All right, so as you stave off the growing tide of zombies, we switch over to Virgil. It's 1 arm and 1 zombie. The arm is going to use its action to help the zombie to make a strike against you, so 2 attacks. 1 with advantage on the other arm attacks. I'll roll the advantage first. Bite is just normal. Nat 20, there it is. And then regular roll, that's only a 12 on the second one. So 1 nat 20. Max. All right, that's nice. You take 10 points of, for the bite, it's piercing damage. As one of the arms, as the limbs are now trying to trip and to hold on to you to make openings for these zombies, a bite comes in and gets you right in the neck, the opposite side of where your first bite mark is, and tears into you in a show of blood. Although, I'll say right now, Virgil, your blood does steam in the cold, since you are recently and well-fed. Back to the top with Alder.
Alder will continue to stand and focus on the right.
Indeed. Go ahead and roll me another Arcana.
Let's see what we get. That's for 15.
15. As your minds and your words are consumed with the rites of Bane, there's that little part of you that keeps looking towards that amber lights. You see it manifesting, Alder, just outside, watching. And you can't help but to make out the very barest image of a woman wearing a fine dress. Her features blotted out right now with the amber lights as you're trying not to give too much attention to this and focus on your rights, but for the first time outside your dreams, whatever's in this amber light is here, and it is watching you raptly. Back to Jove.
He is gonna kind of rear up almost like a bear and just take two just big ol' swings. First one using the action on number 3 here. Again, just regular rolls. Oh, that's a crit fail. Oopsie. Brings that, because of that halfling luck, to a dirty 20.
Hey. That'll do.
Looking at nice. 14 slashing.
14 slashing. And on which one was this? Was this at 3 or 5?
3.
3, you got it. D20, please.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. The head is cleaved off of the shoulders of this creature. It falls into the ground, and you watch for the body to fall, but the head simply bites in your direction, Jove.
Hate that. Bonus action as the left claw goes for number 5.
Gotcha.
Ooh, so close to another nat 20. Nevertheless, a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
For 7 damage again.
7. D20, please.
12.
12. An arm is lost. Actually, yep. One arm. Actually, no, you're at 5, so that's both arms. And the other zombie has lost 2 legs and a head.
Ooh, cool. And yeah, he'll stay.
Then that brings us to Virgil. You have 1 zombie and 1 arm on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and squash the other zombie.
Let's see it.
Got, ooh, 25.
That'll hit.
10 bludgeoning.
D20.
14 again.
That's an arm. That's both arms taken off of the zombie.
And he's still up.
Indeed.
Okay. And then the second attack is a grip bow.
Yowza. You strike the warhammer at the zombie, and it takes a half step back, driving it into the ground of muck and blood and offal, and you feel it. And as you pull it back, you're going to have disadvantage on your next attack swing.
Okay.
As you see, a number of muck, snow, blood, and organs weighs heavy on one side of the hammer.
I will use my bonus action to second wind.
Nice. All right. then-
Restore 14 health.
Not bad. All right.
Almost
So
max.
there's the one on Jove. You've taken off both of its legs and a head. It's going to reach over to the head, pick it up, and throw it at Alder. Alder, since Jove is right there, this is at disadvantage because it's a ranged attack.
Alrighty.
With disadvantage, that's still a 16.
16, shield reaction.
As you feel the thud on your back. The teeth scrape against the charcoal as the head falls at your feet, and now you have a biting zombie head at your ankles. But it does not do damage. That's the head and one of the moves from that zombie. It loses the bite attack, and so it's going to use its leg to give advantage and make one slash attack against you, Joe. Regular. That is a 17.
That was on me? That's
Yep.
it.
That's a hit. 2 points of slashing damage with your rage. Then it is the next zombie who has lost both arms, so one arm's gonna strike, one arm's gonna help, and then you're gonna receive a bite. So first arm strike. That's an 18
Nope.
That's a hit. Oh.
Oh wait, is this on him or on me?
on Jove.
Okay.
He still has 2 zombies. 18 will hit. Jove, you're going to take 4 points of slashing damage. And then the bite with advantage. Well, one of those is a crit fail. The other one's a 15.
So that misses.
That'll miss. And then down to Virgil. It's going to limp on back over to you. It's missing both arms, huh? All right. Well, then one arm will help with the bite, and the other will just make a regular attack. So this bite has advantage. That's a 20, dirty 20 to hit.
Yep.
You take 5 points of piercing, and then just the regular claw. That's 24.
Yep.
Take 5 points of slashing.
Alrighty.
That's the zombie's turn. Back over to Alder.
We're committed at this point. We're sticking with the ritual.
Oh really?
Yeah. halfway
Not
there.
expecting that. I really thought this was the one where you're gonna break your concentration.
Yeah, you know.
As you get halfway through the ritual, go ahead and give me that Arcana once more, Alder.
Of course. For a not natural 20.
You look across Alder, and you see the visage of a woman, bathed in amber, both in lights and on features. She is like a skeleton in a beautiful bridal gown. Her flesh made of that same amber substance. Beautiful in a way, but truly undead in a sense that there is nothing living about this manifestation in front of you. And while it doesn't have eyes to blink or to look at you, you can't deny that whatever this thing is, you are the only thing it's focusing on.
Is it approaching me at all, or is it just watching?
Seems just to be watching, raptly, but watching nonetheless. You get the sense that it's waiting. But anything else from me, Alder?
Nothing else for Alder. I will also say, during this whole encounter, I've been listening to the Bloodborne soundtrack, and man, it fits so fucking well. Great shit. That aside, that's all. Yeah.
All right, Jove.
Would I be able to get a handle on the head if I turned around? The zombie head?
What are you attempting to do?
So what he wants to do is pick up the biting head and use his action to chuck it out into the forest.
Yes, but you will receive an opportunity of attack because you're picking up the biting head.
It's fair. Yeah, he'll do that.
All right, it's going to attempt to bite you. Nope. Nope, that's 2.
Okay, then I guess this is an improvised weapon that I'm throwing just generally away.
Yep, use your strength.
Oh, nice. Nice. I rolled a 19, so that's it.
You throw the head with all of your might, Jove, and let's see, typical range now with a 19. I'll say you get the full improvised weapon, so I believe that's 20 feet away, and the head has 0 movement.
Lovely. Then he will turn back around and
Excuse me.
he'll go ahead and use the bonus action attack on the number 5.
Gotcha.
Ooh, that is 24.
That'll hit.
For 6.
D20.
11.
11. You've already taken off both of its arms. So, no change.
Cool beans. Yeah, that's Jin.
Gotcha. Virgil.
I'm going to bonk the zombie in front of me, believe it or not.
I would believe that. Mostly because you're telling me.
Yeah. 13.
That'll hit.
6 bludgeoning.
D20, please. And I need to make a roll.
18.
18. The head is lofted off of this zombie. So you've taken off an arm, and a head. It is a torso with 2 legs currently. Second attack.
Yeah, I was making sure you got your roll done that you needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Second attack on the head.
Gotcha.
That was a 17.
That'll hit.
6 bludgeoning.
6 bludgeoning. Roll. That's a 1. The head is squashed.
Nice. I will use my bonus action to cause the torso with legs attached to make a strength save.
It's only a 4.
It gets launched 10 feet backwards.
Gotcha. Alright,
And
back to the zombie.
That is my turn.
Alright, Jove. So leg. The head's gone, so even with the legs helping, since it's blind, it's gonna make 2 claw attacks on you, just normal rolls.
You may attack one of the claws with Sentinel.
Gotcha, go ahead.
That is a 18.
18 will hit. Jove, that's a 17 and an 18.
Both hit.
And that is 6 bludgeoning on the claw.
6 bludgeoning on the claw. It's a nat 20, it stays up. And then Jove, ham, so that's 8 plus 4. You take 6 points of slashing damage altogether. Then, well, there's no head, so it can't bite, so that's its 2. Then
So
you have...
no head?
So no head? Okay. And Jove, it's an arm and a bite. Just gonna roll these ones regular. That's a 13, a 12, and a nat 20.
Nat 20 hits.
Jove, you take 6, it's 8 plus 2. You take 5 points of slashing damage. And then the body doesn't have any sight, so begins running in a direction, not towards you guys. Left with just the 2 arms, who are just going to make their strikes against you, Virgil. Just regular strikes. One's a crit fail, the other one's a 19 plus 4 for 23. You take 8 points of slashing damage. The other one misses entirely. Well, disadvantage on its next roll. Alright, back to Alder. Round number 6.
We're committed to the bit. We continue the ride.
Heard. Arcana check, please.
Of course. Let's see what the amber light tells me now. That's a 10.
A 10. You blink for a moment, and the amber light seems to recede. Alder. But it has not receded. It's only moved closer. And suddenly, by your side, you feel a second hand.
Oh god.
Cold. Icy. No weight to it almost. You really feel the imprint of the cold against your hot charcoal skin. One hand of iron heavy shadow, the other of light, cold amber light. You feel them both press upon you. One egging you forward to complete the rite, the other simply holding on, refusing to leave. As you keep focusing your energy on the rite, as you see the fire has completely consumed Talaric, the singular right hand left black, unburned. You know that you're getting closer and closer to the end of the rite. You need only some moments more. But from Alder, we go to Jove.
So number 3 doesn't have any legs. And did you say that dropped their movement to 0?
Yes. They are currently just stuck in front of you. 2 arms, no noggin, no legs. So you have a legless, headless torso making attacks against you.
He will use his action then to attempt to, because I can shove, right, and push back. It doesn't have to be just knock prone.
It very much depends on your roll. Go ahead and give me an athletics check.
Athletics, I get to do that with advantage because I am raging. Oh, yes. That is going to be for a 24.
24 will win. Also, you push the torso back an extra 5 feet. This is not technically written in the rules. Out of your range and unable to move forward. So you only have
so if you win
one
the contest,
zombie
you
on
can
you.
either target. It is rules as written, so you can either knock him prone or push it 5 feet away from him.
Perfect. 5 feet away.
Then bonus action, he will do the claw.
Ah.
Claw. That's a catchphrase. To a 23.
23, gotcha.
That is for 11 slashing.
11 slashing. Alright. D20. I'll roll mine.
That's a nat 20.
It's a nat 20. Alright. The head of this zombie comes loose. And so now there is a torso, 2 arms, and a head.
And having got that little distance from the other guy, he is going to. He's feeling pretty bloody, but he is there to stand and deliver.
Alright. Virgil.
Yeah, so let me smash the head.
Let's see it.
21.
Squash.
That'll hit.
11 bludgeoning.
The head is squashed.
Yay. Now what do I have on me? Do I have 2 claw?
You have 2 arms on you.
And what does Jove have on him?
He has he's got 2 arms and a torso on him. The legless, headless torso has been pushed 5 feet away from him.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'll squash my claw.
Claw.
22
That'll hit.
or 9 bludgeoning.
9 bludgeoning. It, however, rolls a nat 20. The arm takes the damage, but is not squashed.
And that's my turn.
That's your turn. All right, Jove. Yes.
Strength save on the claw.
It's a 6.
It gets flung 10 feet away from me.
10 feet away. Gotcha.
Continuously throwing it. Go back. Go away.
Be gone. All
That's my
right.
turn.
Jove, the first zombie is gonna rip an arm off and throw it at you with disadvantage. With disadvantage, that is a 16.
Meets beats.
All right. Jove, you take 3 points of slashing damage as an arm is thrown at you. Then the second one, who's missing both arms and lost its head, so the arms are going to make an attack against you apiece.
I'm gonna attack it with Sentinel.
Sentinel, go ahead and attack.
20.
That'll hit. One is a crit fail, the other one's a 19 for 23.
7 bludgeoning.
7 bludgeoning, I roll. That's another crit fail, so that's one arm squished. So Jove, you take 2 points of slashing damage from the arm. The head's been destroyed, so no attack there. That stops it. And then that leaves the 2 arms on Virgil to both try to make it strike. Okay. One's an unnatural 20, the other one's a 21.
Yeah.
And that's a minimum roll for each. Altogether, you take 6 points of slashing damage, Virgil. And then we go back to the top. Alder, give me the Arcana roll.
I will. Obviously, action used to cast a ritual. Let's see here. That is a 13 on Arcana.
You feel the hands still on you, Alder. You look just ever so briefly away from the right to your right shoulder. There you see that skeletal form in that wedding dress, all in black. Amber light for its flesh, covering over this skeletal figure. And it's not hostile, but you feel a little bit of madness wash over you, Alder. Could you make me a horror check based off of your intelligence?
Based off of intelligence. Okay.
Yes, an intelligence saving throw, if you will.
A saving throw. Okay, gotcha. Wait, is this a check or a saving throw?
Saving throw.
Okay. We are good at those. So that is a 24.
24. You're able to push down the horror of this moment, of the undead limbs attacking your companions, of the burning body in front of you in this scene of massacre, to ignore the heavy hands of whatever deities cling to your shoulders. You push through and continue the ritual. Jove.
So, Jove, in this quarter wolf form, now is just slick with blood. His excess hair, almost verging on fur, is matted. Really with his own blood at this point, because those other guys are just windbags of mist. Virgil, you notice that Jove moves his left hand out, and on his ring finger, there is a flower there, and he's going to use his claws ever so gently to peel one petal off of the ring of the dryad, and he'll kind of cock his head back, and he's panting as he opens his mouth, the teeth more aggressive than they've been in the past, and he will lay that flower petal on his tongue as he pants. Uses the Ring of Dryad to regain 2d4 plus 2 health. That is for 6 healed.
Nice.
Bringing me back up to 20. And then we'll use the bonus action. So number 5 has no arms attached to his body, but those arms are attacking, like kind of like grabbing at my ankles.
It had yes, yeah. One arm has been destroyed by Virgil. The
Gotcha.
other is attacking you, and it still has its body. Well, the head's destroyed, so it's really just the one arm at this point, and then the torso is still up and active. Although without arms or a head, it can't attack.
Gotcha. Okay. Then yes, he'll go ahead and use the bonus action on that guy. That is for 22.
That'll hit.
That is for 9 slashing.
D20, please.
7.
7. As you rip into the torso of this creature, you feel the mist escape through the hole you have left. And as you retreat your claw, it fails its throw and lies lifeless. Finally. Leaving only the 2 arms on Virgil, whilst the rest of the torsos move aimlessly without head or limbs, minus their either arms or legs, depending on which one you're talking about. But there's only the 2 arms left on Virgil now.
Some would say there's always been 2 arms on Virgil.
Speaking of which, we move over to Virgil.
Flash the cloud.
Let's see the crow.
24.
That'll hit.
10 bludgeon.
That's 2. That's a fail. That's 1 arm squashed.
Try the
One
last
more
one.
remaining.
18.
That'll hit.
Nice. 11 bludgeoning.
It's another 2. It's another arm squashed. With that, let's switch back over. As the limbs of these creatures are squashed, as their bodies drop low, and you finally succeed in this combat. Alder, you spend the last, as we move on to round number 8, the last 18 seconds finishing this ritual, letting it burn away Talaric Duran, Lord Regent of Flan, and finally put his spirit to rest after 100 years. As Talaric's ghost begins to burn and move away to whatever place it moves on to next, looks to you, Alder, says one final set of words. Tell my son I'm sorry. I couldn't see him grow into the man that he should have been. And that there was nothing but love from his father Talaric to his son Anavar. Thank you. And as the flames consume all but the right hand of Talaric Duran, you feel that hand on your left shoulder, Alder, reach down and embrace that unburned hand. Like a pool of shadow, it is pulled into the ground. And as you look over your right shoulder, that same bridal skeleton, wreathed in amber light, looks back at you and utters in a whispered tone, "The evening glory sees you, Alder."
Who are you?
I am love, eternal, everlasting, romance with no end, and an embrace that lasts until the very galaxy expires. We will meet soon enough. And you feel, Alder, a cold skeletal hand grasp your own. And you feel as those hands slip from you as the amber light fades. You feel cold amber ring placed upon your ring finger on your left hand. You feel it sucking the very warmth of your Genasi skin. And when you look down to see it, you simply see a small band of amber lights encircle your ring finger. And the ritual ends. You can feel coldness wrap through this opening where Talaric and his men found their end. You hear the blood spill fully from these corpses as all of your ankles are washed over with blood. Still warm, still hot, but rapidly cooling. You see the bodies go into an excited state of decay as the blood and the viscera run freely for the moment before drying, coagulating, turning to dust as you feel the better part of 100 years wash over these bodies. And as you all blink your eyes, return from your excited states, check in on your companions, slowly but surely, the scenes of carnage fade into the mists. And you are only left with the burnt circle of where Talaric once was. The moment is yours, adventurers.
Are the nails still in my pocket?
They are indeed.
Jove is gonna kind of pant as he gets transformed back into his halfling form, and look over at Alder and say, "Good job with that. Good thinking. We didn't. Well, I'm just glad that I wasn't the only one out here, because ain't no way I could pull funeral rites from Bane out my ass. So much appreciated as always, Alder. But I can't help but feel a touch puzzled. Perhaps it was just Talric's confused, ghastly state, but I don't know why he would feel the need to be a protector of Jenny Greenteeth's territory, as it were. But I'm sure 100 years of living out your worst nightmare does something to the psyche. Anyways, I did manage to keep these. I don't know. If there's something magical or sinister about them, if anybody's going to be able to do anything about it, it's you, Alder. And he'll go ahead and take out the hairpins of Jenny Greenteeth and give them over to Alder.
Alder grabs them out from your hand, places them in his pocket. Still kind of reeling a little bit from what happened there. He seems a little distracted. And says, well, thank you both. No way I would have pulled that off without you two doing what you did. But did you see that? Did you see that maiden, that entity, that whatever it was? As he holds out his hand and is looking at the ring finger.
Virgil and Jove, could I have you guys make me perception or arcana checks? The choice is yours.
12 perception.
12.
Oh. Nat 20 for a 19 perception.
Jove, you look around and you don't see any amber lights or vestiges or apparitions that Alder could be talking about. Virgil, just as you are looking out, for only the briefest of moments, north away from you, the same direction that Alder had seen her, you see the very end of a long wedding train, a beautiful gown of all black, wreathed in amber lights, head towards a large tree. And as you spot it, you see that same skeletal figure. She simply holds a singular bony finger to her mouth and a shh motion, passes by the tree and is consumed by the mists. You blink and you look down at your shield. Thank it for its assistance. Without it, you're not sure you would have grasped it, but Alder's not wrong. There was something else here.
All I saw was the gnashing of teeth and whatever those four creatures were. I didn't see nothing.
Alder kind of furrows his brow and oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but you all right? I mean, looks like he's seen a ghost.
I think I got one of my own that's following me, Joe. And Alder is gonna try and reach to the ring and see, like, is it physical? Like, can he touch it and move it at all? Or, like, what's the nature of this?
Alder, roll me Arcana. Jove and Virgil, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no.
9.
15.
Low roll for me. That's an 8.
Alder, you can feel the coldness on your finger. You can see this amber ring placed upon you, but As you hold up your hands and try to work out what exactly this is, nothing rings to you. No deal was made like you have done so with a hag. No acceptance or power stems from it the way you were with Tyrant Thraxis. Instead, you feel marked. The opportunity of delving into this ring made manifest, but for the time being, whatever that thing was, it has marked you with its sigil. For what purposes and what it actually could be, you're not sure yet. But you can't help but feel that same tit for tat that you once shared with a different patron. You'll need time to think on this. But for now, for you, it is very much perceptive. Virgil and Joe, with those wisdom saving throws. Virgil, you look to Alder's hands as he holds it out and fidgets with a ring that isn't there. There's no amber lights or skeletal hands. It just looks like Alder's keeps fucking around with his ring finger. Jove, with a, you said 14?
15.
15, even better. With a 15, you find... You ever have a dog start barking at the corner of a room? And it freaks you out because you're like, why are you doing this? And they clearly see something. Jove, the halfling part of you sees nothing. It's just all they're fucking around with his ring finger again. But there's that turn in the bowels of your stomach. That place of power that's moved from between your shoulder blades down to your gut. And you feel cold, metallic chill go across your tongue down to that gut. You can't put your finger on it, but there is something wrong with Alder's finger. You feel that beast inside of you barking at it.
He got that dog in him.
He does. Jove absolutely got that dog in him. Literally.
Fucking sure.
For sure. If anybody's got the dog in him, it's Jove. But you feel that part of your essence ping. You feel your hair stand on the back of your neck. It is something... It's like when you share dreams with Aquila. Something is recognizing something here, but it's not you, Jove. Something inside you recognizes what has happened to Alder. During this strange ritual, to bring forth Bane to this place, to reclaim one of his fallen, something else seems to have dipped its ill-covered finger into the mix. And I'll say with a 15 in wisdom, that's what you get.
Well, it seems we've all picked up some dark passengers, but and I can't believe I'm saying this, but perhaps we should go back to Jenny's now. This place feels wrong.
Implying that Jenny's feels right. But we do gotta head back. Let them know that Tarek's taken care of. And see if she holds up her end, whatever that means.
With that, you begin following your path back to the domain of Jenny Greenteeth, Hag of the Quivering Forest. Leaving behind this scene as the bodies of mutilation fade back into the mists, to be forgotten once more. The trek is alarmingly easy. Jove, as you are leading your group, you can see how the mist parts and sways, always giving you a clear path forward, beckoning you forth. It makes the trek easy. But Jove, you know that you are being pulled back towards Jenny's. It's not through the strength or skill of your survival. You're being pulled. And in a time that seems far too short, while it took you hours to get to Talarex, it feels like it only takes 30 or so minutes to return back to Jenny's. Alder, your brain tells you it should be closer to 5, but as you enter into Jenny's domain once more, the sky is dark. The mists hang over like an aurora borealis, a sickly blend of greens and gray and black. The central cooking fire still burning, the warm smell and the quiet air inviting you once more. And as you walk into the domain, the door opens, greeting you all back. As quiet and as calm as when you left. The whole place sighs. It's almost like the ground itself rises to meet you. Every step, gentle, soft, and smooth, cushioning you back into Jenny's domain as welcomed guests and not intruders. The door is open and the moment is yours once more.
Alder will go ahead and enter. Is Jenny like there? Is she visible? Or...
Yes. She seems as if only moments had passed since you last left, cleaning bowls and tidying up the place as much as one can tidy a hag's hovel, and turns to you with a ease and knowing air. Ah, welcome back. So soon. Well bloodied, I take it that you were successful.
Indeed. Talaric's been taken care of. Our end of the bargain held up.
Beautiful, my dear, beautiful. I suspected once the woods had grown quiet that you had succeeded. Her eyes look over to your ring finger, Alder. But for the barest moments, go ahead and roll me insight.
Insight. That's a 15 insight.
For a moment, an aura of recognition dawns on her before she quickly puts on her mask of Jenny Greenteeth, the grandmother. Well, with such a speedy and expedited success, I'm more than happy to provide my spell services to you. The first one will be free. Afterwards, I will require payment. Oh, don't look at me like that. As you uncontrollably have that wave of panic go across your face. For such simple remedies, for the curing of wounds, for the cleansing of your blood, I simply require gold ravens. Not the base, earthen-bound bits of gold from our home in Toril. No, I require the dark coin of these lands. I'm sure you've felt it, wizard. Not merely just coins here. As she produces a gold raven, as she flicks it through her hands, all of you are able to see the wisp of magic that leave from it, but Alder, you specifically, as a divination wizard, recognize that she is consuming some sort of divination magic within each of the coins. That same wispy purplish blue that divination magic takes. I'm like breathing in from, well, quite frankly, like breathing in from a sweet J. An incredible place to be able to put such magics in even the most mundane of coin. Strahd, you truly are something magnificent.
Is that how you're so familiar and comfortable with everything here? Are you seeing that essence, that divination of his in each of these?
Oh
As he
no,
holds up the
my
gold
dear.
raven.
No. One does not simply intrude on Strahd's domain. He is selfish, obsessive. No, I do not dare to intrude on his domains. I simply siphon off. Make sure that his gaze is away from mine. It's... well, none of you are particularly devout. I'm sure you've failed to notice. But there are only so many powers out here in Barovia. And Lord Strahd, as long as he may reign, is chief among them. I caution you with bringing his ire, for should he make it his benediction, even I would struggle to keep you safe. And so handsome, too. A shame. As she pockets said gold raven, the coin itself seeming to dim in her grasp.
And Elder will look back then, or look over to his party and say, well, do you guys need to be patched up? You guys took care of me, so it's up to you.
And I will speak out of game real quick. Jenny can now provide spellcasting services to the whole party. I will real quick copy and paste the spell and the cost of Jenny's services currently.
Cool.
I will put that in the lore. Alder, for you specifically, she can also provide quill, ink, and paper for your spells.
Oh.
And she also provide vials,
Yes, indeed.
like glass containers.
She can. She acts as both an apothecary and a spellcaster, all at the same time. And these are the things that you guys could purchase with your gold ravens. Of course, I'll say out of game, she can provide other boons. However, they will not require a material cost. She will ask for something greater. And I'll just say that out of game for all of this. She is a hag, and she has great magic she can employ, but at a cost. But go ahead.
You talked about purifying blood. Is vampirism or werewolfism something you can deal with? I'm not gonna pretend like you don't know.
Of course not, my dear. You reek of it. Now, the beast that resides in you, Jove, that can be removed at a cost. However, you, my sanguine sire, vampirism, now that is tricky. It could be done, of course. But you would have to die first. While a lycanthropic curse can be within my means, to bring you back to full life would need to kill you first. Then raise you back the good old hag way. But such power will require much from me. Either 1,250 gold ravens to make up for the power I'll be losing bringing you back. Or I could bring you back. But I will require your last breath. Give it to me and I will raise you back as the fully living minotaur you once were. See, you still possess a soul here, and that is worth so much more. But the choice is yours, my dear. I, for one, well, I hate giving up power, even if I wasn't the one to bring it on myself.
What would losing my last breath do to me?
Oh, when your time comes, when you go for that last gasp of air, you will not find it, for it will be mine. And I will say, outside of character, Mikey, if you are to give your last breath to the hag, you will lose one of your death saving throws. It will automatically be a failure.
Okay. Interesting. I'll think about it.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere, my dear. Take as long as you'd like. Whether it be your last breath or gold ravens, either way, I can't help but to smile at the prospect. And what about you, Jove of Featherdale? Not the first time you've had a second passenger. I can see the hole she left in you.
Yeah, well, I don't think I need your help at this time. Thank you very much, Jenny.
And then she last looks over to you, Alder. Oh, you, my dear. Your soul's already been split. You lose any more of you and you'll hardly have anything left to bargain. I'm sure you felt it when you arrived here. Your soul torn asunder. I can only imagine what the other half is doing right now. Would you like to know?
Have you found him?
Oh, I can see it's just fine. Do I possess it? No, 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 no. You've already offered up that part of yourself. Only one owner of a soul at a time, I'm afraid.
Is it here?
Oh, no, my dear, no. You came here. The other half of you was left behind. Why do you think that so much of your days spent are quiet now? He is glorious, isn't he? Duplicitous and vile in the best ways. One I would surely never tangle myself up with, but I do enjoy the warmth of your failures.
I'm sure you two would love to talk with each other. Although, there's another more pressing thing. And he'll hold up his hand, putting out the ring finger so that she can't deny it. What do you know about this? Give it to me straight.
She goes over. Give me your hand, boy.
He goes along.
She sticks your ring finger straight into her mouth. And it's awful, Alder. It's terrible, Alder. I do not quite have the words for how awful it must feel to have your finger inside the mouths of a hag.
I
It is.
I hate everything.
It's like sticking your finger in the most awful, clammy, muck-covered swamp filled with jagged wooden teeth. It brings no comforts, and you know that with simply a smile, she could remove your ring finger from your hands. As she pulls your finger out, it left wet, dripping, and mucked.
He jerks his hand back and looks at her with fucking daggers.
He jerks in it. What now?
What did he say?
What did he say?
What did he say? Oh, my dear. Now that is something unique. A band from something truly Barovian. I do not know its name, but I can feel the undeath about it. I'm not surprised. Not the first thing of Barovia to take an interest in you all. But this... well, something is courting you, young wizard. What I will say is... what moves that cadaver towards you is likely intrinsically linked to what keeps you here. Embrace it, deny it. The choice is yours. But I would not remove it if I were you. Such obsessions are rarely done without purpose or cause. So enjoy the courting while it lasts, my dear. And be mindful of any amber light that shows its path to you. You may find great power, but you may also find great tragedy.
And DM for note-taking purposes.
Yes.
What was it again that they that the amber light figure said? They said that something was watching me. What was it?
The evening glory.
Evening glory.
That you were being watched by the evening glory. An eternal lover. One that embraces not in life but in death, were the words that were spoken. A skeletal figure in an all-black wedding dress with a exquisite train following behind, who shines out warm amber lights, but feels of the cold, encompassing embrace of death.
Cool. Added to notes. I. Oh no. It's what I have to say.
You left a hole, buddy. Something's got to
No.
fill it.
It couldn't be the power of friendship, you know? Of course.
Wrong campaign for that nonsense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The power and friendship and stuff just lets you get better better tactics, but there is no spell for the power of friendship.
Except the friendship spell.
Power of friendship
Of
has
course, the friendship.
spooky undead maiden ghosts that
Oh
is
wait, no, sorry, it's called.
me.
Is it friendship or is it friends?
It's
Might
friends.
just be friends.
Friends.
There's animal friendship.
The animal friendship.
The power of friendship comes from animals, guys, okay?
Duh.
Of course,
Been
it's
saying
in the
that for
name.
years.
Duh. Well, with that, my Toro companions, the hour has grown late. And while it may bring me some ill joy to watch you struggle your way back to Orsnew, or camp in the mist themselves, I believe our story is not yet done. Perhaps you'd like to stay for the evening. I guarantee it will be eventful.
As much as I hate to stay here, I think our chances are better than trying to camp out in the forest, whatever lingers in those mists can find us. Definitely not getting back to Orisnu before our legs give out.
Take my chances out in the mist or in chain paintings. And he's openly says that in front of her.
Oh yeah, yes.
And
yes,
she-
here we
and-
go.
Yeah.
And the entire time, Janie is feigning absolute just, how dare. Like, just fake indignation. Just the most theatrical performance of, how dare you. But with that same slick, evil smile beneath.
Something to the devil you know.
Unfortunately, I agree with you on that one, Jove. We are business partners now, aren't we? As he looks over.
The best of business partners. My only friends from Tyrell. And I, your favorite spellcaster. For who else will you find with that burnt-up spell book? Her words hang in the air. Alder, your pride has taken such a beating in her presence. A painful reminder of the power you once held. And the annoying trait she has of knowing far too much.
What say you, Virgil?
Oh, I much prefer her to what's out there.
Ah,
That's what
a
you're asking.
gentleman through and through. I knew I liked you.
Well, you're not actively trying to kill us in this current moment, so you do have that one up on the forest.
And she cackles in the back.
Bar is so low in Barovia.
Isn't it lovely? Well, it sounds like you'll all be staying for the evening. Let me make up some proper bedding for you by the cook fire. As you can see, even without my ward, it's a little cramped in here for your sizes. You, Jove, too wide. You, Virgil, too tall. And Alder, well, I simply don't like your smell.
Got him.
And as she waves a hand, you see a wave of mist, like a breath moving through her house, out to the ground, and you see 3 woven together cots, all placed perfectly around the fire. A pillow woven together with grass and flora, perfectly arranged, each one made to your exact measurements. The fire warming, putting a small light onto all of them. Comforting and welcoming, through and through. With that, the evening dawns upon us, as oxymoronic as it is. You all choose to stay in the domain of Jenny Greenteeth, protected from the darkness and mists of Barovia. Is there anything you guys would like to do or say before we hit the proverbial hay?
Alder will just, I think that night, would still just kind of like observe over the ring and try to make out any more of it that he can, whether like casting Identify or just trying to use his own arcane senses to get a feel for it.
As you prod your ring with your magic, Alder, it does resonate deeply of necromancy. That illuminated green wisps from it, merging together with the amber and the sickly, almost bronze and brass color as you look upon it. It feels like the seed. Power. Opportunity. An embrace. Every time you look at it. You're not sure if you've been claimed or if this is an invitation. A path to follow, should you choose to. What your mind worries about is what happens if you choose not to follow your mark. You know there are dark powers out here. You've seen your companions grow strong because of it. But you've also seen your companions fall victim. The weight of the choice ahead of you feels enormous, Alder. Of whether or not to embrace this new patron, wreathed in undeath. It weighs heavy on you as sleep calls on you more and more. What you choose to do with it will be up to Alder. Joe, Virgil, anything from either one of you before we head to rest?
No.
All Joe is going to do is break out his journal and write a little bit about Talric and that experience before wrapping up and heading off to bed.
As the evening takes full force, as sleep embraces each one of you, tonight in the domain of Jenny, your visions are plagued. The three of you together in this dreamscape. You see visions of leather-winged creatures flitting through the dense canopy of the quivering forest. All around, the ever-present mist lingers and looms. It reminds you of your first nights during the transition into Barovia. Almost imperceptibly, at first, you hear the sound of crying, though it's stifled and muted by thick, impenetrable mists. The visage of a beautiful, dark woman, fully fleshed, extravagant gowns, devastatingly beautiful, for just a moment. Then you hear the voice of Jenny Greenteeth in your dreams. Obsession consumes her absent heart, which lay in pieces four. Envy poisons every part, and yearns for something more. Every breath she will ever make is a wish for Lord Strahd's love. 4 obsessions now seek to take: box, mirror, comb, and glove. First, the mourning mother. Next, the ghostly son. Third comes a man, both a dog and bird. And last, the greediest one. With their success she prevails, so stop them if you can. Though now she only cries and wails, soon her joy might undo the land. And as Jenny's voice fades, the morning embraces you all. The sounds of Orsnu fills your ears. Many people are awake and moving. You hear Gregory's voice. I do not know where they went. Of course, the wedding is today. Where would they have gone? And a ruckus begins to fill as you all do not wake with a start, a sweat, or a scream, but awaken from a truly restful evening. Not in Jenny's domain, but back in your rooms at the Hare and the Hare. And as the voices of a numerous Orsnu denizens begin to fill the small keep, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh boy.
So, before we mosey on and shuffle off this mortal coil, a couple things need to be done. First things first, audience. My sweet, sweet audience. We will be taking next week off, for it is Christmas on that day. And we're going to enjoy times with our friends and families and the likes. So we will not be playing next week. We will return back. I believe we're going to shoot for a nooner on the last day of the year.
That's the plan.
So we will be returning at noon for a sweet nooner before most of us, I assume, will be meeting up for a wonderful evening to enjoy the last day of the year. So just a heads up, sweet audience, that's next week will be a break, and then the week afterwards, we'll be doing a nooner. Thanks, Ev. Moving past that, let's put together our experience, shall we? For defeating 3 Ettercaps, a swarm of spiders, animated tree, some needle bites, 3 ogres who are actually redcaps who have been magically transformed, and 4 Strahd zombies, as they are called. You put Talaric Duran's soul to rest, rescued the captured elves, treated peacefully with said elves, found Aya Glenmere, and of course the massive mid-season award. As this is our mid-season audience, this is module number 6. There are 14 in total. The second half of these ones, some are longer, some are shorter, but should be about the same amount of time as we head into the mid part of our campaign. So thank you all for everybody who's been here. Super glad to have you. Split between all of you evenly. I will say the mid-season XP award is 3,000. And it is not split. So everyone receives 4,700 experience.
Oh my.
That got me more than halfway to level 6, and last session you gave me 2 extra experience to get me over the top. So
yeah, this is a big one, which is why I told you guys last year. It's hey, I'm not going to do it till we get to the end. That's a huge dump.
That puts me at over 9,600 on that.
Over 9. I'm sorry, it's over 9,000.
It's literally over 9,000 now. God dang, level 5.
Well then, all right. Let's get those rolls or the average and bring us into what level 5 for these characters look like.
It'll also be the first time in the campaign we're all the same level, I think.
Ooh, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Jove is gonna roll for the HP. Ooh, not great. That is only gonna be 7 more. That puts me at 58.
Still about average.
And I will go ahead and roll for Alder. Rewarded fairly well. That's a 5 I rolled, so 7 plus
nice.
7 HP.
Nice.
So
and I believe
puts me at 34 HP.
Nice. Jove, I believe you get a second attack at level 5.
I indeed do.
Let's go.
Nice. All the
And
martial
I get
boys.
fast movement, so I get to get a little bit more movement. So yeah, now I have a speed of 35.
Oh,
Maybe a fast little halfling.
faster than you've ever been. And Alder, I believe 5.
Mm-hmm. There's a few good things that have come out of this.
All right, break it down.
So number 5, no new abilities or anything like that, but a big one, level 3 spells are finally obtained, which means Fireball is inevitable. It's back, baby.
Of
Back
course.
Like it never left.
We're so back.
We're so back with Fireball, everybody. So that's obviously the biggest one. And then the other nice one too is that all cantrips get a bonus to their damage. So I roll 2 dice now for all of my damaging cantrips.
Nice.
So Firebolt is now 2d10, essentially Shock and Grasp 2d8, etc. So a
Big
very
ones.
big power buff for the wizard.
And we get proficiency bonus.
Oh, yeah.
+3.
You're right. You're so right. We're so fucking back.
Hell yeah.
This battle just started. You're right. You're so right!
Okay, but like with you and me, Joe, like it really is true because we were higher, so now it's like we're so fucking back, bro. I'm
Mhm.
Firebolt, how I missed you, Fireball, you're back. Like, yes.
It is nice to see the Fire Genasi get Fireball back. Well earned.
Oh, it feels excellent. Excellent, excellent.
Excellent.
Well,
Yes. Yeah.
with the
I have
whole...
to think about the second spell I want to add though. I'm gonna have to think on that one.
You
Because I
got
do
2
also get
weeks.
2 additional spells. Yes. So Fireball is the obvious one. I'll have to think on the other. We'll
I
reveal
would
that, I
almost
think,
say from a
next
DM
week.
standpoint that, like, you have to choose Fireball. If you chose not to, I'd be like,
I
no, incorrect.
I would tell you to be mad at me. Like, why in the world would I run my character the way I do and not grab Fireball? You know, like that doesn't make
The only
sense.
thing that could be worse is if you were also an Evo wizard.
Oh, God. I'm an
The
Evo
passive
Wizard.
is
I
not
only
enough.
chose divination spells. Fuck you guys.
You get anger.
Literally.
But yes, Alder, be thinking and be ready to tell me what spells you've taken when we return back in 2 weeks, which will be rad. Jove at level 5, Virgil at level 5, proficiency bonus for everybody. Everybody with some decent amount of health, big spells, the 2 attacks really turns everybody on. You guys are looking great
Really
as
turns
we...
me on.
Mm-hmm. Well, with
Don't need a healer when we're doing more damage, guys. Let's go.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
Yeah, no, I was ready to pop some temp HP in that fight, but no.
You know, it's one of
Need
those
it.
fights where the problem is that they only go down if they fail that throw, where you get a critical strike, because none of you guys have radiant damage,
Yeah.
which makes it a longer, brutal fight. And I was like, really, this is, can I outlast you guys? And I was getting there. I only need to interrupt
I
Alder.
don't know.
Oh, with Jove, I was absolutely getting there. I was absolutely
Okay.
getting there with Jove.
I didn't know how bad he was doing because I had temp HP to give him.
You know, it felt
Never-
He
wild.
went down to
never,
14.
Okay, yeah, never be afraid to ask me if I got any of that temp HP because I generally do save them just in case things get salty.
That's good to know.
I will
Yeah.
say too, it felt very wild to basically be playing the escort in the escort mission. So thank you guys so much for keeping me upright. You know, great job.
Yeah, it would have really have sucked for you to fail that and restart all over, because if you restart the ritual, another wave comes.
I briefly thought about popping off a shot on like the first turn before really going into the ritual, and held off. But that's the only time I would have maybe done it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
man, that
my
would've
thought
sucked.
process would have been like, there's no way that they would allow you to just cheese it like that.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's the point. You got to give up a character to keep that incantation going, and if you can nail it, you only got to deal with the 4. But if you get interrupted, then it becomes 8, then it becomes 12, then it becomes 16, and so on and so forth until we hit critical max, where it's like, guys, I have, that would have been 16 times 3 to pretty much. I've got 48 attacks on you per round of combat, and you guys get at most, what, 6? That would have been a bad time. But you were able to protect Alder and keep him through the whole shebang, and we're very successful. So, speaking of that success, let's wish good night to chat.
Good night, Chad.
Nighty night, chat.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat. Thank you so much for being here with us. Very thankful. Always happy to have you guys here. Happy and super thankful for my fantastic players. They're the only reason this keeps on moving on. Lovely. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for this fantastic season. It has been one of my favorites, and so very different from what we've done in the past. Much love and peace in the Middle East, as we always do. We'll see you on the last day of the year to end it out right, with the first session into the second half of our campaign of Misty Fortunes and Absent Hearts. Night-night.